In 1995, Winnie Johnson came to 5 of us and asked us if we would formulate a group. Winnie was the current director of the foundation, which was fairly new at the time. We all met and came up with our plan for the group. And of course, we were all in unison that we would like to have something that was for women, a group of women who were raising money for women. Winnie talked to us about what we'd like to be called as a group, and we were throwing a few names around, and she came up with the suggestion of Valiant Women. Then she told us the connection with the Sisters of St. Joseph, which we all loved. There's a statue at the Mother House in Orange that has the original nuns who came to California. They were called the original Valiant Women, and we really liked that connection and the name as well, because women are valiant. What more can I say?
A very good friend of mine, Connie Stalcup, who has unfortunately passed away, said, "Vicki, you know what? There's a group of women that really need some help." And it was Valiant Women. And they invited me to a board retreat, and that's where I met the original board members, was at that meeting. And so that's what motivated me, because if you looked into the eyes of each of these women, they were kind, they were just full of energy, and they really had the drive to want to help Mission Hospital become the #1 hospital in Orange County. And when it came down to it, I just felt I was sold on the group, and I said, I think I should be a Valiant Woman because it goes so well with Vicki. Vicki Valiant. It works. When we started Valiant Women, expanding the events, our goals, our fundraising goals, I think that one of the first big ones we had, we made $20,000. And I remember the Camino Health Center, they were over 100,000, and I just kept thinking, we will never get there, never. And look at us now. We have exceeded every expectation I ever would have imagined for Valiant Women.
In the year 2012, Valiant Women made a bold commitment of $1 million to raise money for Mission Hospital. We were very specific in what we wanted to raise that money for. We were a little unsure if we were going to achieve it. Through time, we've been very successful raising more than $250,000 each year to achieve that goal in just 4 years. We're very proud of that. But it took a lot of hard work by a lot of ladies, raising not just funds for it, but asking for a lot of donations to achieve that goal.
In growing Valiant Women's membership, it was key to bring on people that had creative abilities, had time, had treasure, had passion for things. So it was bringing eclectic people into the group with their common goal of saying, we need to help Mission Hospital. And I always spoke to people and I said, listen, you spend a lot of time finding where you want to live with your family. You spend a lot of time deciding what schools you want to send to your children. You spend time deciding if that's the church you want to go to. And these churches and schools, they have students coming in and going out, families readily available to do fundraising. Same with the church. The parishioners are always giving to their church to make sure that they have everything that they need. Mission Hospital, they don't have that kind of community, and that's what we needed to build, because you don't know you need a hospital until you need a hospital. And if you need a hospital, you want to make sure that the best of care is there for your family. And that's what Valiant Women has been able to provide. By building our membership, by building our fundraising, we have been able to bring on huge donations to the Pediatric Operating Pavilion, the Pediatric Emergency Room, the chapel. It goes on and on. The Women's Health Center, all the care for women and children. It's because Valiant Women cares.
My husband's sister was going through a very difficult battle with breast cancer. And so we knew that we wanted to do something for women's services that involved breast health and awareness because of what she was going through. So for us, the initial concept of putting together a wall of honor was to honor women who had gone through this journey, but also to remind everyone that early detection was the key, and The Wall of Honor at the shops in Mission Viejo is a perfect place to create that awareness during the month of October.
The Wall of Honor is so important to us because it raises awareness in our community, and it also helps us support the Women's Wellness Center. One of the things that I'm so proud of that the Women's Wellness Center has the latest technology that we can offer for 3D mammograms.
Ronnie Andrews was a big supporter of the Women's Wellness Center, and he helped to fund the tomosynthesis machine. He and his family have just been amazing supporters of Mission Hospital. And at the gala a couple of years ago, a dear friend of mine, Lisa Dale, who at the time was the Valiant Women Chair, had been recently diagnosed with breast cancer. And the tomosynthesis machine at the hospital was the equipment that helped to find that cancer that would have otherwise not been found for many, many years. And I was at the gala, standing in line at the bar, and Lisa ended up walking up to say hello while I was standing in line. And I got the opportunity to introduce the two of them to each other. They just knew each other as Lisa and Ronnie. But then I explained what the connection was. And for me, it was really special to share that moment with the two of them, the donor and the recipient, who got to meet each other.
Another area that's still very important to Valiant Women is nursing scholarships. Even though we have an endowment fund, it doesn't satisfy all the need that is in place. It's very important that we continue to provide further education and certification for our nurses at Mission Hospital so we can be the very best hospital that we can be. What do I get out of it personally for Valiant Women is the friendships and the people that I meet. I can honestly say I've met a lot of new people that I would have never met because they wouldn't have been my neighbors or at my daughter's school. So it opened up a whole different avenue of new people to meet and what they're interested in their lives.
Everyone can do something, from volunteering your time to help at an event, donating your resources if you have a business that could provide a good that the hospital or that Valiant Women needs to purchase, or attending an event, supporting an event, or becoming a member. All of those things truly help. Memberships are really important because it lets us know that we have a group of people that we can communicate with on a regular basis. We can invite them to events where they can hear current information about what's going on in their hospital that affects them and their families directly. I also think it's important to have men supporting women. I know that my husband's a big fan of me and of all of my friends that are involved in Valiant Women, and the more that we grow, the more I see that more and more men are getting involved supporting women and businesses supporting women. So anyone can do something, no matter how small. It does make a difference in the end of the day.
Valiant Women is important to me because it takes me back on how the Sisters of St. Joseph's came over and they were worried about serving the community. I think so often we forget about the people in our community and how important it is to just give back just because and not get something in return. I hope Valiant Women is even a bigger organization and has more people and more people are involved, because I think that it's a helpful organization, and I can't overemphasize the need for awareness of health. I think it's overlooked a lot, that people feel pretty good and they only want their hospital when they need their hospital. And something my husband used to always say is that we wanted to make sure Mission Hospital was the very best it could be, so when the need was there, it would be there for us.
You know, I don't know where I see Valiant Women in 20 years, but I'll tell you what, if the community needs something in 20 years, I guarantee you, Valiant Women will be there to make sure that those needs are met. We've shown it in the past, we're doing it now, and there's no reason to believe that that won't happen again.